Hi, I want to do a quick video here for people that are new to detecting. One of the common things that a lot of people get frustrated by are all the tones that you hear while you're metal detecting. And I'll go over some examples. I've turned my headphones off for the time being, so hopefully you can hear this through my detector. But wanted to give you some of the tips that may help you out to understand why your metal detector is making some of the sounds that it's making. So I'm on a well, let me show you one example. Is when you hit your coil, you can hear it chirp. Right, what's happening is you're moving metal in your coil down there. You're moving the wire that comes up and connects to your console. Those little disturbances causes the detector to think that there's some metal there. It's actually almost like reading itself, but that little blip you're getting when you hit something, and when you detect for a while, you recognize, like, I'm in a cornfield here, and you're just running into all these stalks, and you kind of recognize when you hit a signal because you've bumped something. Or if I'm in a stream, I hit boulders all the time. So that's one reason that you get a little blip. That's not, there's no metal underneath it. I do have a nice signal out here, so let me come across and show you. Now, a couple things about this. Number one, the numbers are staying fairly consistent. Right, you can see it's 17, 18, 16, so it's pretty consistent. There's no growl around it, and by growl I mean the tone doesn't change. So, you know, depending on your metal detector, you're going to pick up different tones for different numbers on the display here. And this is relatively staying consistent in tone. And another thing that's happening is the signal is rather small. So, like, as I go over it, so it's going to be a relatively small item. There's a good chance this might be a shotgun shell. I just found one not too far from here. Maybe a lead musket ball. But it's worth digging because it's a consistent tone. So I'm definitely going to come back to this and dig it in a second here. But let me see if I can find some. There's a good example of what also happens is, so you can hear a little growl. I have no discrimination. So it's going to give me signals for iron tones. The Minelab gives this little growl for an iron tone. It's a very low signal. You can hear it there, but you hear a high-pitched signal in there. And what's happening is, and I'll dig this to hopefully illustrate what's going on, but what happens is when you're detecting and there's a piece of iron, like a nail, this is a common thing for like a nail or a bolt or some piece of iron that has a bigger piece to it, it's picking up just a small section of it depending how you swing over it, and it's giving you that higher signal. So a lot of times if we don't have the iron setting on, so I just turned iron setting off so it's not going to give me that low growl anymore, but sometimes it'll pick that up and then see it's disappeared. So it just so happens that when I swing in this one direction, I'm hitting the right piece of the iron that it's tricking it to thinking it's something that it's not. It thinks it's like a coin or something bigger than a piece of iron, something in a higher tone. And when I come this way, it doesn't read it. So it's a very inconsistent beep, and that's what a lot of people are hearing when they're first detecting. If you don't have iron setting on, you may catch this one signal and it just disappears. And more than likely, that's just a piece of iron. Now, when I'm in a field like this, I kind of go back and forth between having the iron on and off. It depends where I am in the field. If I'm getting too much iron and it's just like sometimes you're on a house site and there's like iron everywhere, and what I'll do is I'll turn the iron setting off, because after a while that's all you hear and it just becomes too annoying. But if I'm in the middle of a big field like this, when I'm going across, I can hear those little growls around the nice signal, and I will kind of instantly know that it's iron versus something that I probably want to dig. Not to say I don't dig iron, but not always. It depends. Like in a field like this, if I were digging iron, that's all I would have. I would have nothing to show for it. So I'm trying to find good signals within the ground. So let's go and dig these up here. Let me go back to this one here. So that one's right there. We'll come back and get this one, but this one here is the more interesting one. So here, let me move my shovels. There, and we're back on this like kind of nice small signal. Again, this very well might be a shotgun shell. One of the other things that I'm doing is as I ran my coil over it. So here, let me show you this. As you run your coil over it, so right there, I'm not getting a signal. And right here, it just starts. So my eyesight is going right to this spot, right at the very tip of my shoe there. Because that's where it first picks up. And then watch as the coil disappears, or as the signal disappears, it's right below it. So right now, this is going to be somewhere like right around there. So I'm visually keeping track of that. And as I grab my shovel, I'm going below it, right? Because I don't want to dig right into it if it's something good. And we've got a lot of rocks in this soil. So, so let's see what we got here. And then once I dig it open, I see if I popped it out or not. Yep. So we should hear nothing back in this hole here. So something up here. And usually I can go down with my my handheld probe. And it's going to be somewhere in this mess here. Oh, and there's something green right there. That's what's going to be this green item. All right, so there's a piece of copper. I don't know what this is. Ooh, actually, is this a buckle? I'm gonna be careful with this. I don't want to rip it. No, I don't know what this is. See if we can. I'll see if I can unfold this and. It might be a buckle. Yeah, that might be a buckle. I don't know if they made them out of copper or not, though. This sure looks like a buckle. So I'll put this in my case and we'll check it out. That's a really cool find, though. But this gave off a really nice signal. Like it was kind of short and no iron signal within it. So let me put this in my bag and I'm going to go dig that other one. Be right back. All right, I'm going to give up digging on this because the signal's getting worse and worse as I go down, and it's going to be pretty deep. Unfortunately, iron sometimes is really deep, and you end up digging a super huge hole that isn't worth it. I would never have dug this to begin with, but was just trying to show you what I found there, but I don't want to keep digging. So I'm going to keep moving on, and hopefully this was helpful. So just be patient out there and get to know your machine.